Toastmasters meeting? Well, personally, it's just a stroke of serendipity. But the only reason I'm over here is because of Toastmaster Sachin Kalkar and Toastmaster Clement and the entire XCOM team of Toastmasters Club, DSO. I keep on thinking DSO Gals Club. Things change. Well, now let's get started. Now, first of all, congratulations to the DSO Toastmasters Club for their 216th meeting. 216, right? I don't know why everyone's giving me that look. Now, another thing I noticed is that Toastmasters has a very welcoming nature. Right? The clapping is very loud and it kind of like boosts your confidence before like entering the stage, right? And I like the fact that we keep this tradition, and it's not only our Toastmasters, it's basically every Toastmasters club. And just another round of applause for that, for the fact that we like to welcome every single speaker to the stage. Now let's start with our Sergeant at Arms, which I think is not here at this moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Shukla, yeah.
He left, yeah. So, first of all, it's very nice that he mentioned the taboo topics and the mission, and also explain what the fire exit and promotions are, which is needed for any emergency. And also mentioning the ground rules, which again sets the flow of the meeting. But speaking of the flow, personally, I think the energy was lacking behind. And as the sergeant at arms, it's your job to set the pace of the meeting, right? And you have to be really energetic, which Percy I think was lacking behind. But again, in other things like making sure everything was organized, he played a major role, and I think round of applause for that. Then we have a president, which personally, one thing which I really noticed was very detailed explanation of how much time has been since the starting of DSO Toastmasters. I mean, I don't even remember half the things, how many minutes and all was written, 32,000. And I mean, that's very detailed. I'm very sure you didn't count all those, but I can't calculate that stuff. I'm not known for my math skills. So I also find that very new, something we gatherers don't do. Then you also explain Toastmasters to the guests and everyone and refresh the memory, which again is something a president should do in the presidential address. Then, great way to remember them. So, as I'm a Cavalier, I'm going to give this evaluation based on what Cavaliers do. So, I found this kind of new that we made everyone stand and recite the mission. Right? And as a sergeant at arms like before, I do know the mission. I don't remember it right now, which is kind of weird. And this was a great way to remember and refresh the mission. This was very new for me as a Cavalier. And another way, introduce the guests, which again is very important. You kind of have to break the ice between the guests to make them feel more comfortable. Moving on, we have personally my most favorite role. Maybe not because he's my father, but because of his performance. The TMOD role. And for the people who don't know, the TMOD is my father, and I really appreciated how well he spoke. So here are the main points that I could gather. Explain the format very well, the format of the meeting, and the flow of the meeting. And again, broke the ice between the members by asking those questions, which obviously I felt very good. Then we have other things like, we continued with the round robin. After the word master left, they continued with the round robin, which again made us get more used to the word, and which we could use overall in the meeting, which I have used only once, which I need to improve on. Then for the word master, for the TMOD, I will come up with later points. But then for the word master, the word was explained very well, and for a word master in the Gals Club, it's a very detailed explanation. Like it's multiple scenarios were given for that one word, which is again really good for understanding, right? Because the only way to learn a word is by constantly speaking it. And give this good word, serendipity, is a word we could use in the general language. But then personally, I haven't seen many of my friends using that word. And by using this word, we're just enhancing our grammar, which again enhances our other skills in life. Many explanations were given, and the explanation of the word was done very well, as I already said. Now the speakers, right? Now, as a general evaluator, I'm not going to go too deep into how good, how much, like all the improvements and good points of each speaker, as they've already been evaluated by the evaluators. But I will say each speaker gave their best, and that's the only thing that matters. And congratulations for your icebreaker, yes, and great job. Another round of applause for that. And again, I like the nature of the standing ovation, which again boosts their motivation and also shows the welcoming nature of Toastmasters, and which is something we are very unique because Toastmasters, we're not a course, right? It's not teacher to student, it's an interaction of every single one. It's not one on one, it's many people, and they have their connections and they talk and they just make themselves a better speaker. Then we move on to the table topics session. Now, the table topics were explained in a very detailed manner. And something I found very new was the 3 words thing. Now, I haven't seen that in the Dance Club, but that was pretty new for me. A little bit challenging, but then again, that's basically the point of impromptu speaking. And this also increased, personally, my ability to think on the spot, because it's not like, okay, I can just say some pretty much random things about a topic, because it's 3 words and you have to link them. You have to basically create a word web of all those words and the synonyms and all that, kind of find a connection, right? Which you all can't do at this moment, but then you can find some connection, right? And that's what you have to present on the stage. And now again on the stage, all the refining, and also I think the idea of 3 words, find a connection, that too from the meeting, so we can find some relation, is great. And thank you for the amazing table topic session. Engage the guests very well, which again is very important, as again I'm repeating again and again, but it's important. Toastmasters is a very welcoming nature, right? And we have to continuously acknowledge that. Then, yeah, the topics were actually very innovative, as I already mentioned. Then I'll just jump onto the evaluation session. Fine. First, we have the first evaluator, which is Toastmasters Clement. Great use of pauses. I mean, I could see there was a lot of breaks in the flows because you have to make the audience digest what you're saying, right? There's no point if the audience doesn't understand what you're saying, then there's no point to saying it, right? You're saying it for the audience. But then the use of pauses was a great way to explain to the audience and let everything settle in. Then my analogy is obviously the curveball in baseball, which is when in swinging, out swinging for cricket, when the batter gets tricked due to a curveball, normally used for like things you don't expect, like the unexpected hook that Toastmaster Kiran gave. Great analogy. Then classified well using strong points and improvements. Right? You were able to tell when it was an improvement and when it was a strong point. Then we move on to second evaluator, Toastmaster TTM, right? No, Toastmaster Devi, sorry. She was the second evaluator, and what I liked was she talked about the expectations from the speech first, right? Like her rubric in a way, which she wanted to fulfill, which I found very new, and that also sets a good way of understanding where the score of the speech lies, right? And then it was a great use of the word of the day. And then also talked about how the criteria should be fulfilled, like how it should happen, and then she also talked about how it did happen, and kind of drawn like a demographic for us to understand. Then again, a great use of quoting places from the speech to make us understand way more better about what the speech actually was on from her point of view. Then we have the third evaluator, Toastmaster Sunita. She asks questions to hook the audiences. Now, when you hook the audience, again, you get the audience interaction, which is very important. And as all people writing creative writing, the most boring period ever, know that a hook is very important to actually get marks in the exam. And also very important to give speeches, I guess. And also talked about how the speech was different compared to other speeches, which again also kind of signifies where the speech kind of lies. Then, one thing I found very important was ma'am, you break down the speech into many subtopics, and those were each individually greatly explained, right? You were talking about every single point of the speech in a very short time frame, and the fact that you were able to do it is a great thing. Then again, it was very detailed analysis, and personally, it was very engaging in a way, and it made us understand the speech way more better. Then our counter explained the role very well by explaining the importance of not using filler words. Talked about the many different types of filler words, like didn't only stick to as the counter role suggests. You knows, and I can bet I did like 100 filler words. Okay, and I surely need to improve. Then gave a very detailed analysis because like named every person how many filler words, not only like total, like how many of each type, which again very detailed. Then we'll move on to the grammarian. Great way of explaining the role, Grammarly, right? We were all able to engage with who doesn't use Grammarly. I think everyone does, and also told words that were great, and also told all the things that were great in the meeting. We were able to understand, right? And also gave a suggestion like reading books. So that's it for my general evaluation. Thank you.
President.
Oh yeah, now I would like to call upon the president of DSU Toastmasters Club, Toastmasters Fatima.
Thank you, Gaviria Rabbi. Thank you. A big round of applause to our young Gaviria.